Autobots, transform!
Gangway! Surf's up, and I'm talking up!
Jazz, organize a battle unit. We're going after them.
Bluestreak!
Hello everybody, what is up? Welcome to another episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan, and today I'll be counting down Hasbro's 1984 collection of Transformers, specifically number 16, Bluestreak, from the catalog. And you know I love to tell you about the backstory to these guys and the origins and how Hasbro got these figures from the Diaclone toy line, mostly because I like to talk about the repaints that we never got. So anyway, he comes to us from the Diaclone toy line in Japan. He was part of the Car Robo line where he was piloted by a little figure. He wasn't a sentient being. Here's a look at the packaging that most of these figures came in. And Bluestreak, or not Bluestreak, he probably, I don't know what his name was. I don't know if anybody does, if he had a name. But the pilot probably had a name. And the pilot was like a little Power Ranger or a little Voltron Force member that would get into the car, action would heat up, he transformed the car to a robot and take the fight and the adventure to an entirely another level. But in that toy line, these guys had amazing repaints that we always wish they had. He had a completely chromed out repaint. The picture of that one's a little bit oxidized and it's losing its color. And they got a reissue from eHobby maybe 15 years ago now, and all silver chromed out, which is very cool. In the Diaclone line, he had what is known as Black Hooded Bluestreak, which made it into the cartoon. And then it was reissued into that same eHobby line as Black Hooded Bluestreak. It made it into the cartoon. But the rarest of all his Diaclone colors is the blue Bluestreak. This is the one that everybody lusted after. This is the one everybody feel like we should have got. It was a legendary toy that was said that actually was out in the United States. And in a way it was, because some of the Diaclone figures actually came to market in the US. So if you ever heard a kid or an adult spin a story as a kid, he had blue Bluestreak, it is actually possible. And I'm sure like most kids, he or she didn't care if it was packaged differently or didn't have an Autobot symbol. To them, it was blue Bluestreak, especially with that color figure appearing on the packaging. And speaking of the packaging, all right, so examining the packaging to look for evidence that we were intended to receive a blue Bluestreak. Right here on the front of the box art is a blue Bluestreak. Obviously, exactly like the Diaclone toy. And on the top of the box is a fully functioning, transforming version of Bluestreak. A lot of times people say some of these are pre-production pieces that never even transformed and they were just straight prototypes. But you can clearly see this guy transformed. Top of the box, bottom of the box, same thing, flip them around, the artwork, the bio. The bio will become important a little bit later, and I'll talk about that. But here is the box, and here is what we got. All silver Bluestreak. And I must say, when I saw him in the store, when I first saw him in the store, I pretty much left him because he was the most boring of the cars. I think him and Ironhide are the two most plain Autobot cars from the 1984 wave, and that includes the mini-bots. Speaking of the 1984 wave and Bluestreak, here he is again in the catalog in his Diaclone colors, and I might as well get this guy checked off right now. Again, Bluestreak, Diaclone colors, robot mode, car mode, two different functioning pieces. So yeah, we just did not get it, but he is number 16 on our countdown. All right, so moving on and continuing the discussion over the blue Bluestreak versus the silver Bluestreak. And like I said earlier, in the cartoon, we got the black hooded version instead of the this all silver. So they went through a lot of samples. So apparently the cartoon people got one thing, and the people for the box art and the bio got something else. And a lot of people point to the fact that the Bluestreak term has nothing to do with the car being blue. But I beg to differ. I believe that Bud Budiansky, who wrote the bio, took a look at the blue Bluestreak version and came up with the ideal to make the nameplate on the color of the car, and not just Bluestreak came out of nowhere. I think if he got a silver sample, we would have had a different name. But again, a lot of people say the name has nothing to do with the fact that it's blue, because the term Bluestreak means to talk incessantly. I think like basically he won't shut up, and they say that's why we got the name Bluestreak. It has nothing to do with the color, but it's obviously that it's a double play on the name and the color, and pretty much like I said, the definition is to talk rapidly and quickly and just won't shut up or whatever. If I get a chance, I'll slap it on the screen. And they just say it's just a coincidence, but no way. Look at the box. Look at this. That is Bluestreak. I mean, it was a play on both, and I really think we should have got it. I spent my childhood looking for Bluestreak, you know, which is like my Transformer Toy Story, and I'll drop that a little bit at the end. So yeah, no black hood, no blue parts at all. We just got Silver Streak. Okay, let's take a look at what Hasbro intended us to know about Bluestreak, presented to us in his bio. Autobot, Bluestreak. Function, Gunner. His motto, I never met a Decepticon I didn't dislike. Bluestreak often talks incessantly and inanely. Lightens the situation for all Autobots with his good-natured manner. Despite formidable weaponry and blazing speed, he hates war, haunted by the memory of Decepticons destroying his home city. Fires bombs up to 8.3 miles and lightning-like 80,000 volt beam up to 12 miles of limited accuracy, often inhibited by his disdain for combat. So Bluestreak doesn't like to fight, even though it looks like he can whoop some. Anyway, let's take a look at his tech spec. His strength is a 6. His intelligence is a 6. His speed is a 7. His endurance is a 9. His rank is a 5. His courage is a 2. His firepower is a 9. And his skill is a 7. Those are some pretty good numbers, but I don't think it makes sense to be an intelligent person and have these abilities and be aware of these abilities and your courage be a 2. I don't think that makes sense, but you know, that is the bio, and that's what they intended for us for Bluestreak. And also on the back of the box, you can see right here, robot points you can mail away for. I never talk about those things when I talk about the box. The barcode and the standard artwork on the back of all 1984 figures. And people often wonder why is Megatron not right here and Starscream was, just like myself. So, and right here you can see that he actually cost $9.97 back in the day. Back to Bluestreak. Let's take a look at some of the things that Bluestreak was packaged with. We have his paperwork right here, and we're going to start with the catalog. This is a catalog I acquired separately from the toy. The toy being a pre-rub figure, and the catalog, this is a rub catalog. You can see what the set includes: 3 missiles on a tree, 2 launchers, a laser rifle, sticker sheet, and Bluestreak himself. And again, we are looking at the Bluestreak toy. Shows the transformation. Flip it over, it continues to transform. Shows where you put the stickers. And like I mentioned, this is a booklet for the rub version. When I was acquiring the booklet, it really didn't matter that it matched pre-rub and rub. I just wanted the book and some paperwork. I don't think the pre-rub came with this either. I just guided through it in sort of to fill out the figure. And it is the mail away offer. You see Thundercracker and Sunstreaker on the cover. Wheeljack 2 in the background, fighting over Earth. Now all of a sudden they can fly in the upper atmosphere or in space. Unfold this thing, you can see you can actually get the DVDs right there. Thundercracker right there, and the other figures that you can get. They got Wheeljack twice. Like, why, I don't know, but with points and without points. You can order them without points, and so you didn't even have to go to the store to get these figures. Wow. And I wish I took advantage of a lot more of this stuff, but back in the day, a lot of things never actually came. Like a lot of things that you sit to wait for, you just would never see. So a lot of things I just didn't even try to mail out for. So I don't know about you, but I had a history of things not showing up, whether it's from the cereal box or other offers, magazine promos, just never showed up. It was weird. Bluestreak also came with, but all standard boxed Autobots came with the catalog and the decoders. And here I have 2 decoders. Why I have 2 decoders, I don't know. A few of my guys got 2 decoders. And I bought a lot of this stuff separately too and just threw them in like the little baggies I keep it in. And the catalog, we already did the whole catalog thing, but this is the one I have for this guy. It has no check marks. It's pristine. In case you want to look at it with all the mess on it. And there's Optimus Prime with the light blue roller and light blue inner trailer with the gray missiles, which does not exist as well. Here are the baddies all the way up to Lord Megatron. And moving on, let's take a closer look at not Bluestreak. All right, this is my last little Diaclone reference. I'm going to bring Bluestreak forward. In the Diaclone line, like I told you, the pilots would sit inside. So what you do, you sort of transform this guy a little bit. Take the Diaclone pilot. This is an all red one. Little chrome on his chest. And you put him in a seated position. And I bet they broke a lot of their figures because the windshield is real fragile. But what you had to do, you had to semi-transform this guy. Work your hands in here. It's probably better for a small child. Take the pilot, and that little gap that houses the little piece for its transformation in there, that is a seat. It's not a conventional seat, but it is a seat. And you have to just maneuver the little guy into the seat, hopefully without breaking the windshield, and he sits comfortably in that little seat. I got him all the way in, and you close it back up, and then you got a driver inside the car. And if you didn't know, now you know. So yeah, they would get inside and pilot the vehicle, and they weren't like Transformers or anything like that, and the guy would drive around. Take a look at him in there. He's kind of sitting up a little high, but yep, that was a seat. And if you think about it, man, that was a very, very clever design. Make you wish Hasbro had gave us a Spike or Spark Plug, Carly or whoever, to sit in there and enjoy the toys just a little bit more. All right, now let's strictly focus on what Hasbro gave us. Bluestreak was based on a Nissan Fairlady Z, or known as a Z car. I mean, he is a perfect likeness of that vehicle. When I was a kid in my neighborhood, one of my neighbors actually had the car, and actually this actual color, and every little kid on the block would be like, "It's Bluestreak." The entire front, well, most of the front portion here is die cast around here, and on the sides, the entire back, what becomes his feet, is die cast and is painted over. Then the windshield is and the hood roof of the car is translucent with gray paint on it. You can see mine scraping off. Little sticker right here to cover up where the head goes. The side arms are plastic. You see the Fairlady Z sticker there. One headlight sticker is gone off of mine. This is a vintage figure. There is a little chip on my door that I swear I did not notice until I started doing this toy review. Like, what the hell? So we're gonna have to take care of that. I'm gonna need a new door. But I'm gonna still need my vintage sticker, so I gotta find a door with the sticker on it. And coming around to the back of the car has Fairlady Z on the license plate, some stickers for the tail lights of the car, which looks very cool. Turn them over the undercarriage of the vehicle. Takara, Japan. You can see his arms underneath. You can kind of see his face in there too. And with the design of his arms, I don't know if it's intentional, but you can actually like steer the car when you roll it by maneuvering the hands underneath or whatever. A lot of kids did that. I really didn't care. As long as my car rolls straight, I'm good. Like, and he's turning. Speaking of roll, he rolls pretty good. He has the rubber tires and the chrome rims. Mine has faded over time and play wear, and the tires actually come off. So you can pretend like these guys have a blowout or a shot in the tire or something like that. And it is a very soft rubber, and I probably shouldn't be doing this because they could crack a split because they're very old. And put them back on and move on. But that's something you can do, and I try to put it in every video, but I often forget. But I remember this time. So this is Bluestreak. I don't think I can say anything else about the vehicle mode. It has some molded in detailing in it, and a door handle and all that. And obviously the door is open or whatever as per transformation, but that's still cool. I still love it. You can get it open, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Moving on, Bluestreak. Let's get this guy transformed. We're gonna open up his doors, unhinge his hands, pull him down and around and out, down and around and out. Slide out the legs, lift him up, open up this little waist piece right there that says, what is that? OHC. I don't even know what that means. All these years, I've never known. Rotate the waist, which was very cool when they did in the cartoon. Relock the waist, which is so cool. I love that in the cartoon. Brings little arms down, separate his feet, and Bluestreak is transformed. Pretty cool looking toy. The only thing, like I said all the time, that aggravated me with the legs was stuck together on the pin. I didn't have a problem with not having all that articulation, but just sticking the legs together. Some people say, well, what difference does it make? Because he's not articulated anyway. I don't know. It just aggravates me. Just aggravates me. You can see all the nice stickers on Bluestreak behind the glass on his legs. Autobot symbol. The waist is stickered up. His arms has some striping on them. Looks pretty cool. Take a look at his face. He has the red eyes and some red paint on his little crest on his head. Very cool molded in head and face. Bluestreak looks really cool, and he comes with the laser rifle, same as Prowl, same as Smokescreen later on. Highly detailed rifle, nice and chromed out. Looks very cool, very, very cool. Get that in his hand. And he comes with the 2 launchers. Now mine has the wrong launchers. The guy I bought it from had the wrong launchers. But I liked it so much, I kept the wrong launchers on it because it looks better. The correct launchers are red, just like his waist pieces. And later on, I bought some correct red launchers, but I could not find them for this video. I actually delayed this video trying to find the red launchers and could not. So as soon as this video over, I'm probably gonna find the red launchers. But here he is, completed in a sense. And my legs want to keep shrinking down or whatever, dropping down in the figure. Let me just spin him around so you can take a look. The back of the vehicle, and I really think he looks good. You know, at the time, this guy was awesome to me. Well, I had Prowl, and I had Smokescreen. This mold was pretty awesome to me. I think he looks great. And what I would do, like to make Prowl and Smokescreen, I would angle up the guns, and then you could take the doors. And on the cartoon, they were like angled up because they're like on a little hinge and they slide off, and you could just angle them up like the Masterpiece figures and give your guy a little bit of a different look if you got all these guys sitting next to each other. And I think he really looks cool. So G1, if we want to talk articulation, it's all in his arms and shoulders. His shoulders can go up and down like that, which is cool. And so you can move it all around at the shoulder right here. There's a screw behind that sticker, and he has an elbow bend, and this is pretty much all his articulation. And he can rotate at the waist because of the transformation. If you wanted to, you can make that happen, and it doesn't need to lock back. You can keep him turned to the side and get a little bit of more dynamic look out of him if you put him on the shelf. Oh, and his hands 360, which is cool. And speaking of his hands, he has molded in fist. Looks good. Molded in thumb. The forearm has some nice molding in it. Looks really cool. Like I said, this guy was a really cool figure. Losing some stuff here. Alright, Bluestreak's final feature in his robot mode. The launchers are supposed to fire. You're supposed to push down right here, but mine don't fire. The spring's probably just dead in there. But here's the missile. And by the way, the missile underneath the chrome plastic is red. That's how you can tell who missile belongs to: Bluestreak, Prowl, or Smokescreen, because the missiles coordinate to the plastic of the specific Z car. What do you think? Did you have them as a kid, or did you chase? I know I asked you already, but did you chase down the blue one? Because that is my story for this one. I spent my childhood. I passed this guy up, thinking like, no, I'm gonna wait till I find the blue one. I'm gonna find it. Blue one, the Bluestreak. So here he is. So I'm gonna size this guy up and run him down. Alright, we're going to kick it off with Bluestreak next to his mold-made Smokescreen and Prowl. Here is Bluestreak next to Thunderstorm. This is how he scales with G1 Shockwave. Next to Juggernaut. Wait, what? Here he is next to the Masterpiece version. I can't remember which is he, Bluestreak, Streak, or... Man, they like separated the names for the different repaints, but I'm just going to say Masterpiece Bluestreak. And last but not least, here's how he scales with the Jump Starter, because why not? Okay, everybody, I forgot to mention that he had a United States reissue at Toys R Us. It was a Toys R Us exclusive, released somewhere between 2002 and 2004. And that reissue was kind of crappy, to be honest with you. The weapons were not chrome, the gun and the missiles were not chrome, and they did not fire, I guess, due to the new United States regulations. So it wasn't as good as the Takara releases at all. Okay, I'm going to start to wind this review down. I think I pretty much hit on everything, told you my G1 story. On the G1 cartoon, Bluestreak was voiced by the late, great Casey Kasem, who was even more known for his cartoon voice of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo for years and years, but even more known for his Top 40 Countdown and being a disc jockey, even his television countdown show. So his Transformers voiceover wasn't his most known. Oh, he also voiced Cliffjumper, too. I almost forgot about that. Voiced Cliffjumper in the G1 cartoon. And as far as buying tips, these figures, the Fairlady Z cars, and a lot of Autobot cars, are notorious for the windshield breaking right here. Right here. A lot of these are broken and repaired and glued. If you're buying online, you want to ask questions. If you're buying it used or used vintage one. These windows tend to break out as well. You want to check for chrome wear, paint wear on the die-cast parts, and dry and cracking of the tires. And you want to buy complete, because a lot of times it can get expensive chasing down the parts. He comes with 3 missiles, 2 launchers, the red ones, not these, and a laser rifle. And if you want to go so far as to get the booklet, the tech spec reader, and even the box. So if you want to go that far to buy everything, that's what Bluestreak comes with. So I think that's all I got for this guy. Again, never had him as a kid. Happy to have him as an adult. What is your Bluestreak story? Did you spend your childhood trying to find a blue one like I did, thinking it was out there? Leave your story for me in the comments below. Thank you for watching another one of George Reviews. The reviews where every toy has a story.
Autobots, transform!